Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It is the Tacks Podcast. I am your host, Rick. Adam is out today. He contracted the Coron-er Virus. So I am joined today by the host of the Vulgarians Podcast, my good friend, Eric.
What is up, guys?
Thank you for being here with us. We're also joined by my beautiful and talented sister, Alex.
Hi.
It's a beautiful day. We pushed the show back a little bit for you guys because we had some inclement weather. We decided to be lazy bones, stay at home, and watch some movies. But we're back to bring you good people some laughs. Hopefully, we don't blow it this time. But yeah, man, welcome back, everyone. It's a beautiful day, beautiful day. And, dude, I was freaking out when I woke up this morning because I had this insane, I don't know if you guys ever had these dreams before, but I woke up in a panic this morning and I was looking at my phone and everything because I had one of those dreams where I dreamt that I woke up and out of nowhere, like, I felt like, oh shit, I'm late for work or I'm missing work or whatever. I was supposed to be at work in my dream and I wasn't. But have you ever had those dreams where you're trying constantly to use technology in a dream, but it just will not work no matter what you do?
I've not had that, but I've had the being late for work dream. Mm-hmm. I kind of compare it to like the dream of falling. Like you just wake up in a sheer fucking panic.
Yeah.
Just kicking and flailing.
Yeah, no, it was horrible because I stressed myself out super bad. I was trying to use my phone, but for some reason, like, you can't read in dreams, and you can't use technology in dreams for some reason because your brain's just not wired that way. So whenever I was going through my contacts and everything like that, I'm trying to get a hold of my boss and whatnot, but everything just looks squiggly on my screen. None of the buttons worked. My phone kept turning off in my dream, and I just had a fucking panic attack, and I ended up waking up because of it. And I was looking at the date and everything. I was like, oh my God, what day is it? I felt like fucking Dorothy. But luckily, I've still got a couple of days before I got to get back into work, but it was a pain in the ass, dude. And I don't like waking up stressed like that.
Yeah, that's never a good thing.
No, fuck.
And
no.
Especially when like work is taking up a portion of your dream space.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that,
it's
dude.
A terrible
I
thing.
work 10 hours a day for you pieces of shit. I do not want to dream about this fucking place.
I don't mind that so much because I love the place that I work and I like the people I work for. It's just a matter of like I just have a tendency to stress myself out for no reason at all. And I think we were talking about this the other night, how like Eric and I were very similar in the fact that we operate at around like 25-30% anxiety all the time.
Oh, 100%. Like I was doing shots of Jaeger before I even walked in here to do this podcast.
Oh man, lucky you. I did a backflip off of that wagon, dude. But yeah, dude, it's been a great little mini vacation, or I guess for me it's been a staycation. But I feel terrible that Adam's sick because I know he was looking forward to this too. But he sent me a picture of his coffee water shits, which I truly appreciated.
Yeah, I got a glimpse at that, and I was.
Yeah, I've kind of been showing it off to everybody. It's kind of nice.
I'll honestly never forget it.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, but what can you do? I mean, every once in a while you're gonna get hit in the immune system, but it's all
perfect
good.
Timing though. I mean, we happen to be out here, so
yeah.
There was a time for him to get the coronavirus. Now's the time.
That's true, yeah, because I would have been fucked. I mean, no co-host, no nothing.
I mean, just tell Adam to quit eating bat soup, dude.
That's true. Yeah, he's out there harvesting free range bats.
Snakes and bats.
Yeah. But I mean, over the past few days, we've been so lazy. We've been staying over at the Airbnb, just watching movies and documentaries and shit like that.
It's totally been great. Like,
yeah,
I'm loving the edibles out here.
Oh yeah,
shit is solid.
Oh yeah, you got to experience your first dispensary.
I've never been to a dispensary before.
Yeah,
it was great.
It's very nice. It takes a lot of the. My sister and Eric are back from the East Coast, where I'm from in the Carolinas there, and they haven't quite cornered the market on safe drug dealing over there yet.
We're too worried about lobbying for Jesus over there.
That's right. Yeah, roll tide, y'all.
Jesus Christ.
But dude, I haven't spent this much time on social media either. Like I've noticed, like we're just sitting there on the couch and I'm just staring at my phone and going through all these posts and shit like that. And I just kind of like, I came to a realization a couple of nights ago when I was laying on the couch. I'm looking through everything. I've decided I'm going to not like any scantily clad pictures of women anymore. I'm done with it. I'm sick of feeding into the ego and whatnot. So from now on, I will only be liking and hearting and smiley emojiing modestly dressed women.
Fuck that. All right, so
the Rolling Thunder.
Nah, I mean, if you look at my actual Twitter account, it's nothing but like porn stars, and like Magic the Gathering, like informing accounts.
It's a solid combo, dude.
Yeah, like I get to nerd out and look at pussy all day. It's great.
Living that wizard life.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit, man.
I might even retweet some.
Some more of that necro porn.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh man. Hey, guess what, guys?
What?
I've got some bad news.
Well, I've got some good news and some bad news.
Okay, give me the bad news.
What's the bad news?
They're dead.
This whole thing fucking sucks. I mean, this is the biggest pile of shit
All right, and I called it months ago. Arrest warrant issued for a woman who lied on the red flag filing in Larimer County here in Colorado.
Oh, who didn't see that shit coming?
Exactly. So this is pretty interesting because a Fort Collins woman is wanted for arrest on suspicion of perjury after lying on her red flag petition against the police officers who killed her son. So this was, as I mentioned in previous episodes when this was all being kind of decided on here, this was the first thing I thought of was there are going to be a lot of spiteful victims of police brutality or anything like that. Not saying that this particular case involved police brutality, but, you know, people are going to have a vendetta against the police, and people are petty and going to have vendettas against one another in general. So this is, I didn't expect it to happen so quickly, but apparently this took place January 16th. So this is kind of eye-opening, and this is also kind of worrisome because now we're starting to venture into a territory where you could get an argument with your neighbor across the street. Something could happen.
Yeah, if I don't buy like Stephanie's essential oils on Facebook, she's going to dox me to the cops, and like they're going to come and take all my AR-15s. And
it's like
not about it.
I didn't buy any chocolate from your punk ass kid, and now I've got to worry about the police kicking in my door because you're insecure. Anyway, online court records show that the warrant was issued January 23rd, 1 week after Holmes appeared in court to argue that she wanted the state to confiscate Colorado State University Police Corporal Philip Morris's gun for a year. Morris shot and killed this woman's son in 2017. So this is kind of, I guess she's been thinking on this one for a while. And this is the thing is like, she didn't have any way to get back at this cop or anything like that until these laws were passed.
So what was the actual like crime? Because I'm not familiar with this story at all.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the crime that they said the kid committed?
So it's looking like so it was a shooting death, but this article doesn't really go into detail about her son's case. I'm guessing, I don't know. This
would you say the kid maybe deserved it, or?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know anything about what happened in this because this article is literally just about this woman using red flag laws against the police officer that shot her kid there.
I mean, we're moving closer and closer to the boogaloo.
Yeah. So. Well, that's the thing is, I mean, I get it. We do, to a certain extent, we do need better regulations surrounding firearms because I don't think it's any secret that it's too easy to obtain one if you're not all the way there, if you have malicious intent.
I will say though, when I went to do my concealed carry permit testing, there was a girl in my class who I knew. I went to high school with her. She sent me like some crazy text because I went and saw a band called the Coat Hangers, and she's like psychologically fucked up and thinks that I was talking shit about her.
Mm-hmm.
But so she's card carrying crazy, and I knew this before she even showed up.
Right.
She shows up, they're like, "No, you're not buying shit."
Oh wow, so they already knew.
They already knew. Like she'd like filed police reports saying people were like watching her house and stalking her and shit. Like,
oh, okay, so there was a paper trail that she was crazy.
Yeah, there's a paper trail that she's a nutcase.
See, my biggest fear is running into those guys. Like, I mean, because there's more nutcases out there than there are sane people, I would argue.
Oh yeah,
and there, you can have a clean record and just be batshit crazy, and all it takes is that one fucking occurrence.
I mean, look at all the homeless. They're like free-range crazies out here.
Yeah, you guys have seen a couple of examples of what Adam and I have spoken about in the past with our homeless issue here.
Well, I feel like the homeless here are like more of that crazy, like, there's no place for us, so we're going to live out on the streets type of shit.
Right, and I mean, I've spoken to a few of them, and it's by choice, and like our Uber.
Well, it normally is.
Yeah.
Like when I was in New Orleans, it was like all a bunch of 23-year-old fucking hipsters that were like, "Hey man, can I bum a cigarette while I play the ukulele on the sidewalk?"
Yeah.
There was like a plethora of them out there.
What's your favorite My Morning Jacket jam, man?
Yeah,
and I'll
seriously.
fucking belt it out. Fucking buttholes. But it's kind of like, I also think our Uber driver, when we were talking about this same issue, she had a good point in saying that, yes, mental illness plays a part, but drug addiction and drug abuse on top of that already,
but exacerbates it.
Exactly, and it's already a pre-existing condition, and a lot of people, it's a cliche at this point that a lot of mentally ill people self-medicate, and it never has good outcomes, and like we're seeing now, the homeless population in downtown Denver is insane. I mean, you can't go to a single street corner and not see somebody holding a sign or somebody yelling at a wall or, God forbid, yelling at passersby.
Well, I mean, when me and Alex were out in Las Vegas years ago, we saw two homeless guys fighting over a stick on the 213.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Nope, not at all.
Maybe they were wizards, and that was just.
Well,
like
I mean,
really...
that's what I thought. It's like, this is your piece of property, and you're like gonna gut this fucking dude over it. Like,
they were fighting over who shall wield the wand.
Seriously, it's kind of like Lord of the Flies.
Yeah,
but the homeless version, where you fight over a walking stick. Who gets to be Gandalf at the end of the day?
Yeah, who wants to try to part traffic like Moses? Let's see. And in other news, this is a beautiful one. We have herpes monkeys spreading across Florida, reports say.
Wait, didn't we already have those?
Well, I think.
Well, that's in South Carolina. There's like a research island in South Carolina that has like a bunch of herpes monkeys on it.
Yeah, what's the deal with that, by the way? Like, that's something I never.
Some private business owns it or some shit. It's not like a government subsidized deal. It's some private testing company owns it, and they just have a bunch of herpes monkeys.
Oh, that's great. That's all we need is for them to like start evolving, and then they're gonna make little boats and come over here. And
I mean, at least it's not like the koalas you guys talk about with chlamydia.
Yeah, and I'm surprised. Honestly, that's something that kind of surprises me that more people don't know, because I feel like that's a pretty important thing.
It's pretty common knowledge,
right? I mean, everyone.
They call them drop bears over there for a reason.
Well, everyone that I've spoken to, at least here in the States, they're unaware of that fact, and I feel like it's my job as an informed talk show host to let you guys know that you will get chlamydia from a koala. So just don't touch them.
I mean, half of that entire country will kill you. Like, don't they have like the most poisonous snakes in?
I think, yeah,
the demographic.
Yeah, and that's why I enjoy having a lot of Australian listeners, because they are true, resilient, tough butts. So once again, shout out to everyone in Australia that listens. You guys are fucking golden out there. Love y'all. So let's see here. Perhaps Florida's most what the invasive. That's a stupid way to start an article. Perhaps Florida's most what invasive species is in the news again, as herpes-carrying monkeys have begun to spread their domain. The invasive macaque, many of which have the herpes B virus, were introduced.
So the macaques have herpes.
Yes, my macaques got herpes.
Fucking neat.
Fuck me.
What is the herpes B?
Simplex B.
What does that mean? Is that the kind that you can't get rid of? Or?
I don't think you can
can't
get rid of any herpes.
of it.
Oh, I don't know.
Just one happens on your lips, and it's like, I'm not a whore. It's just herpes.
Well, you get herpes genitally. You can get them in your mouth. You can also
It's
actually
a cold sore.
One of the first, when I used to work in the operating room, one of the first real nice medical terms that I was taught was through Dr. J. When we used to work together, he taught me what a herpetic whitlow was, and it's basically.
That just sounds horrific.
So you can get herpes anywhere on your skin if you have like an open wound of some sort or something like that. So like people more commonly would get them on their fingers or something like that if they have a cut and they finger a dirty bitch or something like that. So
lizards and truck stop hookers.
Yeah, exactly. If you're putting your fingers where they ought not be, you might get.
Does it smell like
the
yeast when you
whitlow.
pull your finger out?
Yeah, oh no.
I've always been confused about how people get them in their eyes. How
Well,
do you get herpes in your eyes?
It's a moist area. I mean, it's possible.
Squirters? I don't know. Maybe guy's going down on a dirty bitch and she sprays him, and
I mean,
like that Dilophosaur from like Jurassic Park. Just
wait, the one that
took out Newman.
Yeah, I was about to say the one that killed Newman in the Jeep. Poor guy. But
now I have herpes. Fuck.
I would imagine if you got herpes in your eyes due to something like that, like I don't know. I mean, I know this is gross, and my sister probably doesn't want to hear this, but like I've been in a position before where like the girl's straddling my face, and
I'm gonna opt out.
And if she would fire off some squirt there, and it would get in your eyes and your nose and stuff. So like I can definitely see how it happens, and if it is gonna happen, that's how it's gonna happen. But so check this out. It says, while very rare, the herpes B virus is potentially fatal to humans. And while the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission has in the past stated that the non-native species should have some sort of management to reduce health and safety risks, as well as threats to native wildlife, agriculture, and recreation, there has not been any population control in place since 2012. Which, that's a fucking problem, because if you know anything about monkeys...
Well, they're going to fuck like monkeys.
Exactly. And so that's a problem.
But this isn't the first time, like, Florida's dealt with bullshit like this.
Yeah.
The place is a cesspool, and honestly, if they could, like, cut Florida off the map...
Oh, I'd be down with it, dude. Just kind of kick them off to sea.
Yeah, that in California, I'm cool with.
Yeah.
Just kick them both out to sea.
You could kick Florida down to Cuba, have the Cubans straighten them out.
Just have it. We'll take Puerto Rico as our country.
Oh, like, definitely, yeah.
As a state.
Yeah, let's bring Puerto Rico and kick Florida out. I'm down with that.
Yeah, like, well, the Nile monitor epidemic in, like... can't remember the town, but somebody released a breeding population of Nile monitors, and they started like jacking people's house pets and shit.
Oh yeah, I remember that. They were like eating entire fucking dogs and shit.
10 feet long, dude. Like Scruffy, you find its collar on the sidewalk.
Yeah, dude, he's gone. You see,
away.
Yeah, 3 weeks later, those fucking old tattered "Where is he posters are still.
Monitor, they call it that because it can take down like a Nile crocodile.
That's fucking insane, man.
Like,
you don't need those.
They don't give a fuck.
But this shit right here is what pisses me off, because this is totally preventable. Like, could you imagine being in Magic Kingdom and you're like waiting to get on a ride or something like that? You get bit in the neck by a herpes monkey. Nope. After paying all that money and traveling and shit, you're like, what the fuck is this?
I would own me a Mickey Mouse. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, they ass getting sued.
But I mean, they have the same problem with Burmese pythons too.
Yeah,
like the Burmese like come there.
Well, they'll pay you to go to the state and hunt them actively.
Yeah,
but it's super.
They're a nuisance animal. They're like coyotes.
Well, it's massively dangerous because they can kill humans. They're massive.
No problem. That and reticulated pythons and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen several pictures of like alligators just swallowed whole, and like the python's just dead because it's too big and it just burst its gut. So you see like a crocodile or a alligator spewing out of a snake. It's insane.
Let's see. Oh yeah, this was one that kind of made my skin crawl. Nanny cam at Phoenix home catches federal agents smelling girls' underwear. A former federal law enforcement officer accused of having a sexual motive for smelling a girl's dirty underwear in her bedroom will be allowed to serve unsupervised probation. Big fucking surprise, right? Deputy U.S. Marshal David Timothy Moon, 50, was touring a Phoenix home for sale last May. While his real estate agent was in another room, Moon went inside a 3-year-old girl's bedroom, according to a police report. He focused on the laundry hamper in the corner. He dug through the dirty laundry and pulled out what appeared to be the girl's underwear. Video shows Moon appeared to hold the underwear close to his face and appeared to smell them. Minutes later, he returned to the bedroom for a second round with the preschooler's clothing. When he leaves the room for the second time, he appeared to notice the nanny cam. He quickly covered his mouth and said, "God damn it." What a fucking asshole. This is frightening. These are people that work their way up to higher levels of law enforcement, and that's what you have to deal with. Like that,
America's creepiest home videos.
It's just insane. I mean, when you look at the level of corruption in the human race in general, how can you ever trust our legal system? How can you ever trust the people you call?
You never could.
And that's the thing is like, yeah, I agree. You never really could. And it's like, these guys this isn't every law enforcement officer. I know I have several friends and family that are in law enforcement that are great people.
But there's scumbags out there.
Exactly. And I feel like
in every field.
And it's just too easy for them to infiltrate.
And most of those guys are power hungry anyway. It's like a power thing.
Right. Well, I feel like a lot of them got into the business of law enforcement because they were probably deficient in some sort of way as far as their, like, I don't know if it's maybe something that happened to them in their past, but you do see a lot of those kind of like little man syndrome dudes.
Oh, yeah. Around. I mean, well, like there's a correlation between like sex and power and sex.
Right.
So, you know, going into somebody's house, it's like forbidden type of shit. Mm-hmm. So you're rifling through their panty drawer. I mean, it's just gross shit.
What was this guy's defense for sniffing baby underwear?
I thought there were drugs in there.
So basically, I guess ABC 15 reviewed the video with a forensic psychologist, and he described the psychologist said that he witnessed what could be described as a compulsion, and he said that he's evaluated hundreds of sex offenders and was not personally involved in the guy who got in trouble's case, but he said this isn't someone who's unsure and needs to look around and tries to figure out, is this what arouses me? He knows immediately, is what the psychologist said. So, the psychologist said. So we're talking about a guy who knew exactly what he was in there to do. And I guess what's going on now, I'm trying to read a little bit further into this.
But the accused guy doesn't have a defense.
No, I mean,
there's no defense for that.
he's on video going.
Yeah,
exactly.
He got fucking just caught. God knows how many people he's like put cameras in their air vents and then sniff their panties afterwards.
So
right.
There's no specific defense from him then.
No, not at all. This guy has nothing to stand on, and it pisses me off because I feel like he's literally the only thing that happened was he's serving unsupervised probation. I feel like the state needs to step in and he needs to get some kind of counseling, and he certainly shouldn't be.
They should check all of his fucking computers.
Exactly.
Like, just to see if he has any child porn, because there's a good fucking chance he probably does.
Oh, you know he does.
Yeah.
Wait, what would counseling do for him? What do you mean?
Well, I'm saying, like, they don't need to just send him off to his own devices on unsupervised probation. I mean,
no,
this
they
guy's...
need to fucking drown him.
Well, in a perfect world, but I'm saying, obviously they're not going to do that, and obviously this is a law enforcement officer. They typically don't throw them in jail unless it's something crazy. And I mean, yeah, this is disgusting and this is gross. And luckily he didn't harm anyone physically, but that's a very violating thing to do. And how do you put that into context for a 3-year-old? You know what I mean? So I feel like this guy should probably be absolutely supervised, and he needs to attend like regular counseling or therapy of some sort, because this isn't normal behavior. And if he's willing to do stuff like that, there's no telling if he's hurt someone in the past or if he's got plans to do so in the future. But this guy is predatory and needs to be dealt with a little bit.
Yeah, there's nothing benign about that.
Right, and I think there needs to be a little bit more severe of a punishment.
Like, and what was his defense? Like, when they caught him on the shit.
That's what I was asking.
They didn't.
Like, what did he say?
That's the thing.
He's probably like, there was weed in the drawer.
No.
I can smell it.
Well, that's the thing, is he isn't coming out and saying anything. It's all representatives. And like it says, when asked whether Moon faced similar allegations in the past, a Marshall's spokesman told the news organization that they take all allegations seriously but can't comment on personal matters. So they're basically just surrounding this guy. So they're brushing
it off.
Yeah, and they're just trying to make it go away as quickly as possible.
They're distancing themselves from him.
And it's just a problem because it's a matter of an issue internally with local law enforcement and things like this. And like I said, I have friends and family in law enforcement, and they'll tell you stories like this. Like, other cops will cover for other cops.
Dirty cops.
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole thing.
Because you don't want to be known as a rat, and you also don't want to besmirch the name of your precinct. It's basically a career ender in a lot of these cases. So, according to the police report, a girlfriend said the suspect here, Moon, heard police were looking for him, so he threw out his computer. But his Gmail account had a video of girls doing gymnastics in an email that he sent to himself.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is just very weird.
So he was just like posted up at the gymnastics school, like watching girls do backflips and shit.
Something creepy like that. I'm imagining this guy probably. I mean, he's a cop. He has access to.
Well, they're the minute he goes into prison, because there's no way he's gonna get off on this.
Yeah.
Well, he might get off on it somehow, but
well, I think he got off.
He tried.
He got in trouble. But yeah, hey, where's inmate Moon?
She's dead.
Somebody shivved him in the fucking bathroom.
No, he's just fucking dangling like Hernandez, dude, with soap suds all over the floor.
That was some insane shit, dude.
Yeah. But it says he was indicted on 2 counts of felony trespassing with sexual motivation, but later he made a plea deal for a misdemeanor trespassing.
That's bullshit, dude.
And he did make one comment. He said, "This is by far the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life." And that's it.
What, getting caught?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
these guys,
exactly, getting caught.
Yeah, these guys always find it appropriate to
He'll
come
be
out.
at gymnastics and more within the hour.
Yeah, oh my God. He'll be running his own school.
See, in other countries, they'd like cut off his hands or something.
That's true.
That's not what they cut off.
That would be so much
That's
more
not
productive.
at all what they cut off. They cut off his dick.
But I would even side on the air of chemical castration, maybe something like that, so you physically can't get a boner or anything.
Now
like
you're
that.
talking.
And it would also stifle his testosterone production, so that would also kind of lower his sex drive, I feel like.
He'd grow him some lady boobs.
Yeah, exactly. He'd have bitch tits.
They were just forcing to be trans.
But it's just.
Did
Did you say force him to be trans?
Yeah, I was like waiting for a reaction.
Rolled
Nobody
right over
said
you.
shit.
Oh, boy.
Car crashed me real quick. Yeah, there we go.
I'll give you a couple. There you go.
Oof.
Couple there for you. I'll give you a couple to grow on.
God damn.
All right. And in a Vice article recently, men don't recycle because they don't want people thinking they're gay, study finds.
I get
What?
that.
Some men view environmentalism as feminine, apparently, and avoid certain behaviors because of that.
This is all because of the hipsters.
Well, I think this is just...
Well, most hipsters look gay, so
Exactly.
That's true. I
they
do
did it to themselves.
There are plenty of times when I'm walking down the street or I'm at work and I see like a particular style of gentleman walking, and I'm like, "Ooh, glad I'm not them."
No, if you see one that has a girlfriend and they're walking down the road together, it looks like a lesbian couple.
In some cases, it does.
Most.
But,
or he's a cuck.
Yeah, that's true. I could see a lot of that around here.
We're poly bi-amorous.
Oh man, is there anything worse than that? It's like, yeah, you go ahead, dude. You want to walk around being a human petri dish? Go for it. I don't need any help.
And the
doing
girl
that
they're always like polyamorous with is like some fat fucking cow.
Well, when you look at their mates that they've chosen, they're no better either.
It's literally like a bunch of betards.
It's a handful of fucking low functioning trainables. But I mean, whatever makes you happy.
And only one of them has a car ever.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're dating multiple people. It's just more economically sound to do so.
She'll be on a future episode of My 600-Pound Life.
She's gonna be your 600-pound wife.
Ugh. Ugh. No, thank you. I have a hot one back home.
There you go. Oh yeah, we should give a shout out to your significant other.
Yeah, my co-host significant other.
Hopefully she can make it out next time.
Yes. Next time she'll have to come.
But yeah, I thought this was pretty interesting. Like I have to say, me personally, like we recycle here and everything like that, but it's something I have to actively think to do, because for the longest time growing up and stuff like that, this wasn't really like the biggest trend in the world. It wasn't exactly like something that everyone did. So even now, like even in my 30s, I'm still trying to like teach myself like, hey, don't just throw glass in regular trash and shit like that.
What? I can't do that? It's really fun to smash a bottle though, dude.
Of course it is. Well, save it for a cop car or something. Don't fucking save it for the guy. Save it for the guy sniffing panties.
Fuck turtles. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Thank you.
They ain't done shit for us.
That's a sentiment I hold very dearly to my heart when people talk about straws. Fuck the turtles. Give me the convenience.
Well, I went to House of Blues in Myrtle, and they gave me a paper straw, and I instantly just like pulled it out of my drink and was disgusted.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because can we just admit now that paper straws make anything you're drinking taste like shit?
Yeah, it's terrible. It leaves this funky aftertaste.
Yeah. It's like, oh great, my Diet Coke tastes like an Amazon box.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It literally tastes like cardboard. And then if you're, God forbid, you're drinking alcohol.
Right. Because
the fucking straw is going to evaporate in the alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing too, is you have a time limit.
Yeah.
You know, before, in the good old days, you just had to worry about the ice melting and you have a little watery drink, which, you know, God bless you, you probably need the hydration anyway. I can deal with that. But when I've got shit water moving up through a fucking paper straw into the back of my throat, to me, it doesn't quench your thirst. It makes it even worse because that weird paper taste.
I don't want a bunch of fucking progressives telling me I have to drink from a cup like a peasant. Like, I want my straw. I'm fucking lazy.
You're a man of convenience, and you will have
I need to get the
way.
liquid to my fucking head quicker than tilting a glass up.
I don't understand restaurants that use them because they could have just purchased a bunch of metal ones that they can sanitize.
Oh, metal straws?
Yeah, like they do plates and
it's probably an inconvenience
forks.
to clean all that shit.
Yeah, but they're buying a shitload of paper straws all the time.
Yeah, you're right. That's not very sustainable when you could just
Doesn't
have...
make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
all the
having a
Japanese
membership
restaurants
when you
order
could just
sushi. Sushi chopsticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But, I mean, what are you going to do? It's just, you know, we're still growing. That's the thing is, like, everybody is always like, oh, man, modern technology, modern medicine, look at all these advancements. When you look at the human race as a whole, have we really come that far? We're still economically driven. We're still primal at our base instincts. We're very like me. We must.
I would say we've come extremely far in the last 100 years.
Well, yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, 100 years is a fart. You know?
I mean the Dark Ages kind of set us back a little ways.
That's true. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. That was nice. Yeah, good old fashioned book burning.
Yeah, like, oh, you want to study science? He's a fucking witch.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing. You couldn't be very smart back then and not expect there to be some kind of like torch and pickaxe.
I mean,
what
would I be if I wanted to study alchemy in like the 1300s?
I'm surprised like there are texts that survive from those times, to be honest. I mean, if you were a woman in the Dark Ages and you were slightly above average in your intelligence, you were a fucking witch.
Yeah.
They would drown you. They'd throw you in a river, and if you didn't float, you weren't a witch, but you're fucking dead. So there was no logic.
Well, that was like one of my favorite scenes out of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I don't think that was the Dark Ages, by the way. I think that was more recently than I care to admit. That was like some Salem shit.
Yeah, that was Salem.
Yeah, that's my bad. So that wasn't even that long ago.
That's like the 1300s. Like, you had the Inquisition and all that shit.
Right. Which, oh man, that was
the Crusades.
If that wasn't a fun time to be alive.
That's probably the best way to get rid of those people, but, you know, we'll leave it at that. Oh, shit.
Yeah, not into that
fucking table.
You know what? At this point, I'm not even going to bitch about the table anymore because it is such a fucking prevalent blight on this show.
Dude,
you know what?
It's this bar right here.
No, it's not even the top one, Eric. It's the bottom one. Your feet are literally underneath it.
That's true.
So if you move, you just smack it.
But I just can't win, dude. Like,
that's my fucking kneecap that hits it. Every time. I've hit it twice now.
I fucking sprung on a nice L-shaped talk show host desk, and I still can't get the fucking people I have on here. And even I do it too. Like last week I was doing it a ton. I just kept like moving around in my seat and my knee would slam into the desk, and I'm like, great, that's, you know, you need that production value, right?
Yeah, the fucking, like, the part where my feet are at, not the problem. It's this bar where my kneecap's at.
Yeah, exactly.
But is the bar welded, or can you just take the screw out and remove it?
You can remove it, but I mean, it doesn't look cool with it out. I'm all about
looks.
We're
not even looking at it.
You know what? Why don't you just guys don't focus on my fucking table? We're talking about stupid ass recycling.
Yeah. It's not a fucking conversation.
I thought we were talking about the Black Ages where we were burning books.
There's a bar right here.
Hanging
People are running
women
their
for being
limbs
lippy. We were hanging women for being lippy.
Yeah, clearly you were screaming over me, so I don't deserve to talk.
Oh shit!
I mean, you know, that's keeping up with the theme.
All right, Eric.
Alex is a very modern woman. She ain't gonna take that shit.
No, not at all. She's gonna gut me out.
Dude, Alex, her husband Jason was fucking killing me on the phone the other day. He was like, make sure you let everyone on that show know that I rearranged the house and I cleaned up everything so that my beautiful wife could come home to a brand new environment and not have to worry about anything. He's so abused.
He's like heavy breathing his
like
once a year house
for
cleaning.
her?
Eric, shut the fuck up. That's like the third time now.
My bad.
Yeah, you're stepping on her tits, dog. Go ahead, Al.
No, I'm good now.
No, what'd you say?
No, that's it. I'm a woman. I'm done.
Oh, shit. Way to fuck the dog there.
Yep. I fucked up.
Come back to me.
So what's up, Al? Al's over here tilting back White Claws, getting loose.
No, I've been reading over here on my phone while you guys are talking.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that fucking got a third mic just so she could sit there and fucking swipe on Tinder.
I told you I didn't want to be on
Look
this.
at memes.
Alex is just swiping through her Grindr profile, she's catfishing dudes.
That's not what I'm doing.
Getting lesbians to send her fucking money.
Yeah, sending her some muff pictures.
That's not what I'm doing.
Cash at me $5 right now.
I'll show you my areola.
Dude, I'm so glad I'm like off the market. Like the dating scene fucking has sucked for the last couple years.
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, look at me. That's why I'm a fucking recluse. I stay here in my little sound cave.
It's like a bunch of girls that want free money and want to be like cam models.
Yeah, but how would you know that? You've been screaming over me. Is that what you're doing with them? You couldn't possibly learn something about someone when you're screaming over them. Is that what you're doing on dates?
That's a very valid point.
You know, honestly, I probably should.
That's a valid point. I don't know. Alex is very quiet, but when she comes out, she fucking unsheathes that katana.
I don't know. I'm just listening.
Don't get all dismissive right afterwards. Yeah, you fucking throwing in these zingers.
Fucking God damn.
Oh, dude. So I saw, this isn't really like news, but I wanted to add it to the bad news because it's one of those things. Adam and I speak about our hatred for cyclists on a very regular basis.
They're the fucking worst.
Yeah, it's no secret that here on the Tacks podcast, we do not appreciate cyclists, especially if you treat your bicycle as a vehicle and you wait at red lights like in front of cars and you fucking like use your little stupid hand signals to turn.
If you have one
and I'm not done speaking yet.
Okay.
And then you also like have to worry about these assholes merging into you and shit like that. And it's like, how the fuck am I supposed to treat this guy like I would a fucking thousands of pound vehicle on the road? You're not, and you have blind spots and shit like that. And these assholes have the audacity. Like I was telling you guys in Boulder, this one guy just rode by and like kicked my fucking truck that I was driving, and he was in the cycling lane. I was in a turn lane. I wasn't even anywhere near the fucking bike lane, and this fucking asshole just comes through and kicks my stupid ass truck, and he's like, "Leave more room for bikes, bro."
If I had been with you, I would have just reached out. I would have ripped him inside of the car. We would have left his bike there and just scared the shit out of him. Just drove him somewhere and dropped him off there. With no bike, nothing.
That's my girl.
I remember you telling that story a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
Like,
I got my revenge.
Well, part of it's the people that like just immerse themselves in that culture.
Right.
Like have the spandex outfits and shit, and I'm like, you
all
all
hate
are
those.
the worst fucking people.
It looks like a singlet.
Yeah, and there's like 20 of them in a fucking group. They just halt traffic. I was 15 minutes late to work on Carolina Forest Boulevard the other day.
Yeah.
Just because of those assholes.
They should start like forming little like stupid gay bike clubs. Like instead of, you just see a bunch of dudes in onesies and like 10 speeds riding around. We're the Hex Angels. We're gonna key your car, man.
Well, there's only one group that's probably just F-worded more than them.
Huh.
The rental scooter places. Like the little e-scooters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are just dumb as fuck.
Like, why would you do that?
To me, the e-scooters are right there with the bicycles because neither one is not gonna handle an impact against an actual vehicle. And you just look like a fucking boner riding it. No matter how you look at it, you just look like a doofus. But, and you see, I love it down in Denver because, like you guys saw today, the snow's melting. It's very slushy and shit down there. And you'll see these fucking buttheads with these stupid e-scooters. They'll try to take a hot corner, you know, and then that shit goes flying out from under them, and then they just eat shit right into like a nice little slush pile, walking around getting pneumonia. But check this video out. This is sorry for you guys at home, but this is basically just a video of two cyclists, and they're on an interstate in the middle lane on a three-lane interstate. But just check out what happens to this piece of shit. Yeah, exactly. So here to the left.
Oh fuck!
I can't see you.
Well, here, look. This guy's trying. See, he tried to do the stupid.
Oh no!
Yeah, he tried. Okay, so the cyclist tried to merge right.
It blew his spokes out.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Probably blew the contents of his fucking asshole out.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's littered now, like all over the place.
So basically, what happened was this cyclist is driving straight in this interstate, and he puts his stupid little hand out to merge over to the right, and this fucking semi just cruises right over him, and he's lucky it doesn't hit him directly, but it just eats his bike and spits it out. And then, see, this is the other dangerous thing, because it's not like a car where you have brakes and surrounded by metal and shit like that. They literally, these are two guys who just stopped busy traffic. These people are going like 50, 60 miles per hour.
They're on the fucking freeway.
Yeah, this is not
in
okay.
a bike lane. They're not like off to the side. They're literally on the fucking freeway.
But that's the thing. The only way that
they deserve to be hit.
Absolutely. The only way that this video could have gotten any better is if it would have cut to a shot of him laying on a satin pillow. Because I fucking hate these guys.
I was going to say missing his legs, but
no, Lieutenant Dad, you got magic legs.
Oh shit!
You like that, Al?
Yes, I did.
Speaking of magic legs, dude, that halftime show on the Super Bowl, man, I fucking love Shakira, and I always have.
Oh,
but
yes.
Oh my God, did she make J-Lo look like an old bitch?
Oh no, she did.
She looked really so dumb. Shakira was moving and shaking, playing instruments, being a badass, and then what does Lopez do to follow up? She just spends half the fucking set riding around on hot guys' shoulders.
Well, then she had a bunch of cuts to where she was like putting her pussy in front of the camera,
which
is why everybody was like mad about it. They're like, this was a wholesome show, but last year you had like Adam fucking Levine shirtless trying to like make every mom moist.
He looks like a fucking human action figure.
He really does.
He looks like a Chipotle bag.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing though, is like I get Adam Levine being okay, but nobody wants to see J-Lo get a close up and then it just looks like two pieces of chewed bubble tape hanging out of a fucking onesie. That's uncomfortable.
Fucking bat wings.
Yeah, I don't want to see your blown out fucking post Diddy pussy. That's gross.
Oh.
Man, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
now isn't she like married to a baseball player or some shit?
She's married to whoever has money at whatever time they have it. She's kind of like a Mariah Carey in my opinion. She likes to hop around.
Rick, no one forgets.
Yeah, I certainly don't, especially when it comes to that shit. Them shallow ass bitches out there.
Well, my dad was watching the halftime show like 2 inches away from the TV.
Oh yeah,
he had like a 55-inch, and he was like propped up on the dresser, like
fucking hiding his shame boner.
The fucking Jergens and tissues were out. I'm 100% sure.
That's hilarious, dude. It's one of those things though. Where like, and I don't even, honestly, I don't even think. I'm almost 100% positive that Shakira wasn't playing any of those instruments, and I also think she was lip syncing.
Well, they pre-record that entire deal.
She was very much lip syncing, but I mean,
I
don't care. It was still great.
Exactly. I still think she fucking knocked it out of the park. And aside from that stupid little like thingy, which I couldn't get on board with.
I don't know. I kept watching that GIF for a long time, if you know what I mean.
It's just too cringy. I can't get on board with that. I don't even know why you would do that.
What is the significance? Can you look that up?
The significance, well, I mean, it's significant. It has different meanings in different cultures. Like usually, what we would be used to is you would hear that blah, 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 and then a head comes off.
Daniel Pearl.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Rest in peace.
Hit him with the he's dead. Yeah, we got there.
Eric, no.
He walked into the tent. They were like,
try the wine.
Thought he made some friends.
He's dead.
Nobody wants to get that news. Hey man, it's nothing to lose your head over.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's a good boy. But that sucks. I just don't. That's another thing that kind of perplexes me is like, why are people still traveling to these war-torn areas of the world and like those two chicks who went to Morocco just to go backpacking? You can't get me out of the house to walk my punk ass down the street for cigarettes, let alone get on a fucking plane and fly to a war-torn nation.
I was bumming cigs off of you.
Yeah, right. But that's the thing is like, what the fuck is over there that you want to risk your life just so you can walk around?
We want to go hiking.
It's fucking silly.
Svetlana wants to go see the Alps or some shit.
Wait, were they American or not?
No, they were Swedish or some shit.
Yeah, something like that. They were Scandinavian.
But did you see the live leak video of that?
No, that's one. See, when it's like real like that.
That one made me feel bad.
Wait, what happened?
So they whoever killed those girls live streamed the fucking video.
Yeah,
of them like cutting their heads off like with a dull machete.
Yeah, it took a while.
It was fucking bad.
Yeah, I can't be watching shit like that. That's the kind of shit right there where like if I read the article and like they're talking about their lives outside of this incident and then you see some shit like that, it makes it way too real. And I don't know, man. It's a little bit more than I can handle as far as that kind of shit's concerned. And I can watch some pretty fucked up shit on the internet, but
so they could send that guy with, a tent over there that was sniffing underwear there, little lady underwear.
You think he should be sentenced to backpacking in
Yeah,
Morocco?
Exactly. And then we'll see what happens. Alone with no food.
I
or water.
agree. It's like send him over there, make him survive on his own. And if he can you predetermine a time, like, hey, you got to spend like 3 years over there. Good luck.
Then we've just raped him of his rights by giving him a one-way ticket.
We could just stick him on like a forced labor camp somewhere.
Yeah, there's plenty of those around. Why not throw him in one of those fucking highfalutin for-profit prisons?
Yeah,
that America loves
Make
to
him stamp
implement.
license plates.
Yeah, that's another fucking farce. That needs to be abolished immediately. I'm glad some states are doing it, but that should be federally illegal. That's just ridiculous. Fucking for-profit prisons. It makes me sick. But I guess
Why does that make you sick?
For-profit prisons?
Yes.
Because it creates a demand for prisoners, and law enforcement's much more likely to incarcerate people over smaller offenses.
I see.
Don't be a fucking smartass, Alex. You little bitch.
All right, moving on.
What
moving
a
on.
pud.
Well, there was a judge not too long ago who got in a shitload of trouble because it turned out he was getting kickbacks from private prisons, and he was basically just sending every minority he could that way. And that's another thing too, is like we do have a very, very strong issue as far as like race and
I was gonna say, isn't that already happening?
well, yeah, it is, but that's the thing is like this guy was just so blatant, and he held his position of power for so long, and it's like, how do you guys ignore this? No one ever wants to. It's just like the whole coronavirus thing. Like no one in that power structure wanted to be the guy that had to break the news or had to be the one to take the fault for it. And we kind of live in that same type of space as far as our legal system goes.
Well, hold on. Let's dissect that though. So you make that comment, but other people don't think the way that you do. So what do you think happened with the coronavirus? How did that come about?
Me personally, I think that evidence points to the fact that because the city of Wuhan is so close to Hong Kong, I think that it was a virus that was released to quell the Hong Kong protests.
It was a controlled situation. There's no doubt.
Right, and that's what I believe is that it was initially implemented to disperse the protests going on.
Right.
What you got, Eric?
I mean, we covered it a little bit on our show, but the disease spreads rapidly over there because of their culture. Like,
and hygiene?
Yeah, they don't wash their hands. They just fucking don't.
And such a dense population.
They spit on the ground because it's spitting on the ground is even in a restaurant.
And they don't have normal toilets.
Yeah, that too. I mean, so their spit on the ground. It's like a sign of like high society.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I posted a video on our Twitter and Instagram of like a guy eating baby rats, like live baby rats.
Where can they find you?
They can find us at the Vulgarians Podcast on Instagram and Vulgarians_pod on Twitter. And on Facebook.com/Vulgarians Podcast.
Get them plugs out while we can, dog. But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, there are a lot of cultural norms over there that can lead to this type of thing. And also, I mean, obviously, such a dense population, it's a lot easier to spread disease and shit like that. But I think the timing and everything involved in this points to a controlled situation.
100%.
But I think it got out of their hands because of maybe they just didn't know as much about it as they do now, and they didn't realize like certain issues such as like dormancy, like the 2-week dormancy before it actually takes effect. And then they didn't take into account like a lot of travel. I mean, China does a massive amount of business all over the world, and people are constantly flying in and out. So, I mean,
I think they took all of that into consideration.
Well, then
I think a lot of this had to do with population control too. So, I mean, maybe the people that were there that were traveling were casualties, and that sucks. But at the same time, I think that this was definitely about population control in their own country.
Well, the Chinese government's been playing it down like in insane ways. Like not releasing the true death count, burning bodies before they're even registered.
Which is just part of their playbook.
Yeah, nobody wants to let Winnie the Pooh like get mad at him.
Yeah, fuck that guy. He's got such a punchable face.
He really
there are a couple of world leaders I wouldn't mind just spin kicking right in the fucking bag. He's one of them. He always looks like he's pouty, like he just didn't get his way or something. Every time I see him on the news, even when he smiles, it looks like somebody told me he couldn't have a toy.
I think that's just his face, dude.
He's just a droopy, smug fuck. He's an annoyance. I don't know. After watching the debates last night too, it's just like these every politician's voice pisses me off. I hate their cadence. You can't trust a politician. I mean, none of these people look like they're going to do anything out of the norm. They're not out there for you. What the fuck are we thinking with this? Why are we still going through these stupid ass like? It's more or less just an illusion. It's like we want you to think that you matter. We want you to think you have control over this decision. But the reality of the situation is you don't.
Ding ding.
I mean, clearly the DNC does not want Bernie to win.
Oh yeah, that was evident through like all the questions they were asking that were better suited for him were being sent over to other candidates, and they were just kind of
to a point to where Mayor Pete was stealing Yang's speech like verbatim.
I will say it was funny to watch.
It was
extremely
5
funny.
hours of just sheer comedy.
Yeah, the funniest thing is realizing Elizabeth Warren, if you shaved her head, she looks like the Raging Cajun James Carville.
Dude,
it's
I can't unsee it.
It's spot on.
I can't fucking unsee it.
That man, he looks like a fucking alien already. So I mean,
I think they were separated at birth.
Fucking horrible.
Whatever birthing pod they got shot out of.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some Bologna Boys.
Ooh.
Bologna Boys.
All right. Today we have a short one but a funny one. This was uploaded to YouTube June 6, 2019, and it's called Curb Your Murder Sentencing. And basically what's going on here in this video, let me kick this fucking creepy music. I always feel like I'm getting ready to take a kitchen knife in the ribcage when I hear that creepy piano. So apparently this guy's name is Chris McNabb, and he is on trial for the murder of, I guess, his kid. And so obviously they give you a chance to speak your piece before they sentence you and stuff like that. And this is basically just the judge allowing him to speak before the judge hands down his sentencing.
Which doesn't matter, but I just don't understand how you find somebody guilty of doing something to a 15-day-old baby, because there was no evidence whatsoever that proved anything about me putting my hands on my kids. I've never done it. I never would. I don't believe in it.
Also, I need to add, let me just describe the way this guy looks really quickly, because
Can I see him?
Well, here, just...
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah,
Turn it back around.
He's a real one.
He's littered with face tattoos.
He looks like he has a very prominent SoundCloud rap profile.
Oh yeah, that looks like somebody Alex would have dated in high school.
You know what?
What?
You're right.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, somebody definitely melted down some combs and hair dye and just slowly did all those tattoos.
Yeah, so
those
check
are
this.
Prison tats.
Highly credible person.
Yeah, check this out. Okay, so this guy he's in a suit and tie, but from the neck up, there's horribly done neck tattoos up to his little like douchebag beard. He's got thick black rim glasses, and he's got tattoos, like shitty tattoos all over, like under his eyes, on his cheeks, above his eyebrows. And then what does that say on his forehead? He's got cursive writing on his forehead.
Does it say I ripped off the Joker?
No, literally his entire body looks like the right side of Post Malone's face.
Yeah, that best describes it. Post Malone.
I think it says 2 up to lock up.
Too tough? Wait, no.
Or 2 up.
What?
Oh, I don't know. Either way, it's fucking dumb. This guy looks like a fucking idiot. If you want to see this video for yourself at home there, just in YouTube, search Curb Your Murder Sentencing.
I'll actually post it on my Instagram and Twitter too.
Sick.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into
We got to get him a backpack and a tent.
I was beat as a child, and I don't agree with it at all.
For fuck's sake.
And I would never do it. I would never do this. That's all I got to say. I would never do it. I'm innocent.
One more time.
Well, I can make a lot of comments on what you said. I can make a lot of comments on the trial, but I know that was just be arguing with you or talking with you. I'll ask you one simple question. You claim you're innocent, so you tell me what sentence the man or woman that you claim did this should receive.
Southern.
If you ever find out who did them, they deserve to be under the jail.
Okay. So they ought to get the maximum sentence.
Most definitely.
Okay. On the crime of malice murder, I sentence you to life in confinement without parole.
Oh,
Cue the music.
There
God
it is.
damn.
And that's the video, but I fucking love it because his face just drops and he's like, oh.
Well, he
no.
realized it was at that. It's like meme. He has realized at that moment he is fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how are you going to walk in looking like that too and expect to have any kind of credibility in the court of law? I know it's supposed to be unbiased and justice is supposed to be blind, but I'm sorry, dude. There's no thick Southern-blooded judge that's going to look at that guy and think, you know what? Let's give this guy a fair shake.
I don't like my tax dollars going to like housing and feeding these people most times, but in this case,
Right.
I'd pay double. I really would.
Put him up at that Airbnb with us.
That's it.
I'm so glad that you guys got an Airbnb in Denver and not like closer to like Boulder or something like that. Cause I feel like Eric and I have just been chain smoking and I was kind of filling in my, my friends here about how they treat cigarette smokers in Boulder. And I've told stories before on the show about my run-ins with the Boulder locals and how they handle me smoking. But, it's weird too, because the other day I was thinking, like, when we were out on the porch, we were just smoking and bullshit and stuff like that. Like, I used to be, up until maybe like 3 years ago, I used to be so anti-smoking. Like, not even in a nice, conscious manner, but like I was a fucking prick about it. Like I used to grab cigarettes out of my friends' hands and throw them, or I'd like snap them before they could light them and shit. Just being an asshole, you know?
Oh, you're a piece of shit.
Exactly. And no, trust me, I know that.
Somebody should have smacked the fuck out of you for that.
And
this
I
comes
deserved
as
it.
no surprise to me, though.
Well, yeah, and Alex knows, like, dude, I was such a douchebag teenager. I was like super straight edge. I didn't want mouthwash that had alcohol in it and shit like that. I was above and beyond. Oh, yeah, we saw how that turned out. Daddy did a backflip off the wagon in that one, dude. I started fucking drinking like a mug.
Well,
happy 1 year.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah.
Happy 1 year, dude.
Thank you very much. Yes, I do deserve to be appreciated.
I mean, I remember being a shithead, but with smoking.
You remember?
Yeah,
being...
well, vaguely. So we would all like just start chain smoking at House of Blues whenever we go see a show and just start flipping the butts down into the pit.
Oh, you're that asshole.
Yeah, I was that asshole.
Oh my god, dude, I used to fucking hate that.
Yeah,
because I was always
all the
down
North
there.
Myrtle Beach kids that were like throwing the cigarette butts in the pit.
See, that's why you're gonna die alone, because like that kind of shit's gonna come back to bite you in the taint. I used to sit down there at those concerts. I'd always be like on the floor and shit. Mm-hmm. And I swear to God, without fail, every fucking time I went to the House of Blues, I caught a fucking cigarette burn right on the neck.
Yeah, dude. We'd flip those shits like it was like archery.
Yeah.
Like you just see a rain of like cherries rain down on the crowd.
Well, do you know how hard that is to go? Like you see, like this was a stupid occurrence and this really pissed me off. But this actually happened to me one time. I went to a concert at the House of Blues. Same thing happened. Got a cigarette burn on my neck. And I was in my kind of like, I think I was like maybe 15, something like that. But my girlfriend at the time, we were hanging out and she saw the burn on my neck. And because we were teenagers and didn't know fucking anything about like sex and shit at the time, you know, like that's kind of like when you're just figuring shit out and like what you like and stuff. She thinks it's a hickey. And we got in a huge fucking fight. And I'm like, bitch, I got burned in the neck at a Panic at the Disco concert.
All right, you deserve to be burned in the neck for going to a Panic at the Disco.
No, that Panic at the Disco is one of my guilty pleasures, and actually,
I liked them a lot.
Well, remember Alex? I took you to one of their concerts when we were younger.
I liked them a lot.
I think that was your first concert, wasn't it?
I can't remember. We were really young at our first one.
No, it was Alter Bridge.
Oh no!
Yeah,
no! Who was the lead, the opener, or not the opener? Who are we seeing?
We went and saw a Panic at the Disco once, like that. They were the headliners.
All right. Well, I know that I've been at the House of Blues and I've never had anybody burn me with a cigarette.
Yeah. You're one of the lucky ones.
That's weird. I mean, if I did, I would honestly because it was mostly high school. All right, Eric. It was mostly high school people. And if somebody flicked a cigarette like into the crowd and burnt me with it, I would have taken that cigarette and dated them for a month during the spring just to break up with them at their prom.
Oh shit!
God damn!
It runs in the family, dude. We are a spiteful family.
Well, they quickly fixed that issue. That we got away with that for about 2 years. In 2008, they're like, no smoking inside.
Yeah, it's probably for the best, honestly.
Go outside and freeze.
Well, I mean, it's like that everywhere now. I mean, you can't really smoke. I feel like I missed the golden age as a smoker. Like, I started smoking about 2 years ago, I think it was. But now I, like, reminisce, and I'm like, oh, man, I miss the days when, like, people could just walk into a cafe, have some coffee, and smoke a cigarette inside. Now you can't even be out in open air and smoke a cigarette without catching a look like, what the fuck is going on here?
Dude.
People cover their babies and shit, and it's like, no one's over here fucking worried about your punk-ass kid.
Well, the breakfast place we went to yesterday is like had a sign out front, no smoking within 15 feet of the building. I was like, fuck you.
That's almost everything around here now. Like over at the shopping center I work at, I think every building over there has like a no smoking within 25 feet or something like that sign. Yeah, people just don't want to deal with it. It's like I've been smoking outside, out back, like at work and shit like that. And even if you try your best to like blow it in the opposite direction or something, as soon as you open the door back to the business, it just fucking all flies up in there and it smells like stogies for a while.
Yeah.
So I get it. I mean, I'm not saying I don't get it, because when I didn't smoke, I certainly did not want to be bombarded with other people's shitty smelling cigarettes. So yeah, I get it. Fair. But, you know, it would be nice to just kind of like maybe take a time machine back to 92 and go smoke a cigarette and have some chicken tenders in a Morrison's. You know,
go back even further. Go to the 70s when New York had like all the XXX studios.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, better days.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. But I don't know. That fucking hour just went by like nothing.
Yeah, seriously.
Holy shit. Well, I hope you guys had a great time with us today. It was a very special edition of the Brass Tacks podcast. If you guys have any kind of suggestions, or if there's anything you find on the internet that you might want us to cover, go ahead and send any suggestions to therealbrasstacks@gmail.com. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at therealbrasstacks. Make sure you like our Facebook fan page, the Brass Tacks Podcast. And you guys, go ahead and get your plugs in.
All right, so go and check out the Vulgarians Podcast. We are everywhere where podcasts can be found right now. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Red Circle, YouTube, all of that shit.
Get them.
We'll be back next week with my podcast and my co-host Christian. We're going to have a Valentine's Day special for you guys. It's going to be great.
And I have a job, so I don't have a plug.
Well, plug your salon.
No.
We have listeners out your way.
I mean, I'm just going to leave that joke alone.
Alex doesn't want our demographic invading her fucking business.
Good night, guys.
Later.
All right, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Go fuck your mother.